Hey guys, it's homestuck cosplay, and today is part 2 or episode 2 of my ongoing new series, Fandom Finds. Now, this episode, I think I want to delve right into the longest fandom pretty much that I've been in, like maybe like the second longest fandom I've been in. And I think I want to kind of just get this one out of the way because it's very long, and I think I'm gonna break this up into sections only because I've really been in this fandom for a long time. So if you know anything about me, or if you go back on my channel a little bit, you'll know that I was really and seriously obsessed with Homestuck, and Homestuck doesn't have the most, when you think of, bad fandoms, if you've ever heard of Homestuck, that's probably, one of the first that comes to your mind, and I'm not gonna lie, not good. Not the greatest. I mean, there's okay. I think, there's some okay people in it, and I've met a decent amount of good people because of it. So, yeah. I don't even remember how I truly got into Homestuck. I don't think any of my friends really liked it. I think I'd just seen, the cosplayers, and, I'd seen some, My Little Pony Homestuck, crossovers, and, I was, into My Little Pony, which, to the last video, and I think I kind of just got, fed up with seeing it, and I wanted to check it out myself. So I think in about 7th grade, midway or so, I got into it and I started reading it, and then I was so terribly annoying about it. I got so many of my friends to read it and stuff, or I just kind of force them to look it up or something, or look into the characters. My poor one friend, I would always call her Aradia and stuff, and eventually she kind of got into it. She never really most of my friends never really read the whole comic, whereas I did. I don't think I read every single part because at the time I was reading it on my phone, and you can't access some of the mini game things, so I wasn't really missing too much, but I get the general plot and stuff. And I've probably cosplayed so many of the characters. I've cosplayed probably or cosplayed or half cosplayed all of the human characters, a lot of the troll characters and stuff like that. And basically I was just so into it, and I think the only time I really stopped liking it was around freshman year for me. And even though that's probably not a long time, and it was only 3-4 years, this was, the obsession ran so deep, man. As I said in the last video, I think My Little Pony has some of the most creative fans out there. I think Homestuck is up there too, because the amount of fan songs that I really liked and still are kind of catchy to me to this day, even though I literally hate anything having to do with Homestuck, and all of the fan art and videos and so many crazy things, and I've just seen so many good things. And I mean, if you count anime as a whole face value fandom, then that would probably be the biggest creative thing, I guess. But I think each anime has its separate different genres, not genres, but separate fandoms, I guess. And I'm gonna get into some of those in a little bit, I think. In a couple videos, I think I'm gonna talk about Hetalia next, which, whatever. But basically, the pros, I guess, for the Homestuck fandom is that some of them are genuinely really nice, and pretty much everybody's accepting, and everybody, a lot of people if not all, almost, are LGBT themselves or are just like an ally, and like I've never really met like a homophobic or transphobic homestuck person, and things like that. So I've met a decent amount of friends through there, but I don't really talk to them anymore. And like if I ever see like a homestuck come up like on my like Instagram, I usually kind of unfollow them because I can't stand to really like look at homestuck anymore. Although it's fun to sometimes look back, and I still have like some of my merchandising from it. um I just can't really get into it anymore, and I realize that I don't like the comic. So um there's really only one plus, is that some of the fandom was nice, I guess, but the cons, like I said, is gonna be like a whole list. So I just want to say, like I said a few seconds ago, the comic is really not that good, and I never really understood why I even like enjoyed it. I think it was more of the fact that I just enjoyed like being in the fandom and then like reading up on some of the characters' history rather than the comic itself. And like I remember that so many of the fans, which brings me to another point, are so demanding. Like, I don't know. I mean, I get some of it, it was like always like a big meme on like Tumblr or whatever, that like the Homestuck fandom never got like an update from anybody about anything, and like for years like Andrew Hussey like for like a billion years made like no content and stuff. But once he started doing it, it was like, when's the next thing? When's the next thing? And like sometimes it would get frustrating because like we wanted to know, but some of it was like, this man has to live and stuff. The only thing I get is how long the freaking video game took to come out. Like I didn't even like Homestuck once the video came out, which was only like maybe a couple months ago, less than a year, and they'd been planning it forever. And like I know somebody who works on the video game actually, so and that just took forever, and they raised like $1 million for that, and like that took fun. But like just some of the fandom just so demanding, and I think some of the fandom just has like attracts some of the worst people. It attracts literal pedophiles or like stalkers and like little kids, like little kids like 12 and under, and like I'm just so glad that the fandom is pretty much like dead. Like I think maybe the height of Homestuck was like 2015, 2016, and now like I go to cons and I see maybe like 1-2 freaking Homestuck people, and like they're usually like 12, if that. Whereas it used to be like such a diverse thing. But I think most people who got into Homestuck moved on to like other fandoms. I know most of them like are into like Voltron and like Steven Universe and things like that. And I think most of the fandom ended up maturing, even if they were older. I just think, whatever. I have a few stories in particular to talk about. I actually have a subreddit called r/homestucktales, and if you are somewhat interested in hearing some horror stories from myself and some other people, or if you want to leave your own horror stories, because my subreddit isn't as popping anymore as it was, please visit it. I'm gonna leave it in the description probably, if I remember, or when I go back and edit and like add tags and stuff for it, I'll remember to talk about it and stuff. But I think I'm gonna go into the stories more in another video, but for now I'm just gonna talk about my general points. Like I said, it attracts like literal pedophiles, which I'm gonna talk about, and like little kids, and some of the fandom is just so rude and just has like no regard for other people who are even in the fandom or not in the fandom. And if you've ever heard of, probably like if you've ever been to a convention like a couple years ago, you would know that literally Homestuck people would be getting their face paint like everywhere, because most of the characters were like the gray face paint and stuff like that, and they wouldn't know how to like seal it properly so it wouldn't come off your skin, or they would have like really cheap face paint, which I mean I'm guilty of, but I always made sure that it was like properly sealed with like baby powder and like makeup setting spray, and I'd make sure I wouldn't get it anywhere, and if I accidentally had, I would wipe it off. But I've been to conventions where I literally just see it like smeared all over the walls and like on like hotel like sinks, and like I've probably seen it like pretty much everywhere at a hotel or a convention center. And also they never really have a thing for like space and stuff like that. They really like to get touchy-feely, and a lot of the Homestuck cosplayers are kind of like socially awkward, and I'm socially awkward, you know. I get it, but some of them just don't know how to properly function, and it's like, I don't know how these people like go out of their house without knowing how to like properly manage themselves. Like, I remember this one girl, she literally had like a squeaky toy, and in the middle of like a panel, she just squeaked it like the whole time, and like people told her to stop and she wouldn't. And then it was like, how do these people go out in public, and how are they not embarrassed for themselves? Like, I really just don't get it. Like, and people will just like go up to you when you're eating or like sitting down and trying to relax, and they'll be like really annoying and like ask you for pictures, and like I don't mind taking pictures, but like if I'm busy, this is why I never like to bother cosplayers when they're eating or sitting down, because I get it, like I know how it is. And they also have like no regard for other people's stuff. There's a whole story of me bringing a bucket to a convention, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically where like they mate, I guess, what you would say, in like the bucket. And me and my friend thought it was like a big joke, and like this one girl got so offended over it. That's like a whole nother thing. But so somebody had taken our bucket, and I'm going to talk about this whole thing, but basically it ended up getting like completely stepped on, like broken. Like I like took the time to like draw like all the different, like, I don't even remember what they're called, like the quadrants for the dings, and like I made like it's so detailed and stuff, and like somebody stepped on it, they noticed they stepped on it, didn't really say anything, and I had to throw away my bucket at the convention. Like I don't even think I bothered taking it home, and I was like so distraught because like I spent like time to make it, and you know, you would feel, you know, it's like just like a dollar plastic bucket, but to me it meant something. And I've heard stories of people like getting their cosplay ruined because people will like pull out their like horns and like, you know, pull out their cosplays and like, you know, stuff like that. Because like even though most of the cosplays are like pretty simple, it's just like a shirt and like pants or something, some of them can be detailed. Like there's ones with like wings and stuff like that, and people have like touched the wings and like broken stuff and like things like that. But basically in my life, I just had a long complicated history with Homestuck, and any of my remaining friends who I still talk to, who I met through liking Homestuck, have like hate talking about it or anything like that. I think there's only one or two of my friends who still like it, and even then they don't really like it too much, and they know that I hate when they talk about it because I've just seen so much, and like that point in my life of liking Homestuck was one of the darkest times in my life ever. And yeah, I think I made this video long enough, and I'm gonna make another part coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But if you like this video and you have any stories of your own, either comment them or post them on my subreddit and leave a like. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.